That's perfect, Grant. Mitts. Yeah, how you doing? How you doing? I just remember seeing him at the SEC media day, and he apologized because he didn't come in to listen to us talk because they had just served lunch. And I just thought, I said, Bob, that's perfect. What do you need? And so sad day for all of us. I was hoping Izzy would get 43, so that'd be one for every year he covered the Hogs, right? But we'll definitely miss him. But we obviously needed that win. We've been reeling a little bit. We've lost a couple of games that we felt like we were in. There was obvious improvement on the things we worked on the 2 days in practice. I thought the little kind of zone that Coach put in was instrumental. They got off. I think they made 4 of their first 6, and then I think maybe 1 of their next 21 or something like that. So we stuck with it. I think it drained the clock down, allowed us to kind of shrink the possessions so we could find our groove offensively, and got it going in the second half, found some things that were working. And a good win for us. We like this. We love this challenge because it guarantees us a quality opponent in the non-conference. I don't know how it stands. I was looking at some of the scores. Dorita's usually up to date or checking scores back there for us to see how the standings are. The SEC, you're watching 2 games at once. I told y'all she was watching 2. Are you watching Texas Notre Dame and, let me guess, South Carolina Duke? LSU play in Stanford? They were down when I watched a minute ago. So I don't know how we're doing overall, but it's a great thing for both leagues, and we really, really needed that one tonight.
Mike, the last time you had a player drop 38, her last name was Dungy. What does it mean to you to just let Izzy to have a type of game like this?
I mean, it's probably not going to be our last one because we need her to have the ball in her hands a lot. I felt like the way they were pressuring tonight, we had a lot of confidence in her being able to draw the fouls. To draw 10 fouls, that's rugged. I mean, that means you probably got hit 30 or 40 times to get those fouls called. I thought she was relentless in her attack. Her composure was really good. She said some great things in our huddles. And she's the first one to say she had a great game, but the game ball goes to Chris coming in and getting rebounds when we needed it. I had a lineup in there that I think they got 5 or 6 offensive rebounds, 1 possession. So from that point, it is hard to be plus 19 in only 13 minutes. It is really hard to do that. Been waiting for nights when she's got the right matchups. It was tonight. Jada Bates, the same thing. I thought her length really bothered them in some things defensively. Was able to knock down a 3, too, to kind of get us over the top there in that third quarter. And I thought we had good production all the way up and down. Vera got in foul trouble again. Jenna held her own in there until we could start going offense, defense late in the game. But that's as far as carrying over like what we worked on into the game, that's the best we've been this year.
Izzy said y'all just put in kind of like a clutch late shot clock thing, and I mean y'all hit plenty of them tonight.
Yeah, it's unscoutable when you put it in and shoot around. It was, it's a short shot clock. Well, then you've got to we had like 4 of those situations. It's just a little read play. We won't be able to run it again because now everybody's going to have it. But there for a while it was our best offense. I told him, I said, we're going to start dribbling down to that spot and taking a timeout and running that play. But she hit, I think, 4 of them. I have to go back. My memory slips a little bit, but they were all big buckets. And, yeah, we put it in and shoot around yesterday or walk through yesterday. Read it a little bit and never even really practiced it live. Jenna made the right read every time on who to screen. She was able – she just needs a little window, guys. She doesn't need much space either to get you to foul her or get that shot off. A couple times I thought she was going to get it blocked, but she kind of hangs. She doesn't jump real high, but she hangs up there, and it's hard to block. So, yeah, it was clutch. That was clutch tonight.
After the week y'all had were 2 games that felt winnable and you had them slip away, how big was it just to have a bounce back, especially against an ACC team?
Well, Phil said on the radio, he said, I know all coaches want to say that, all wins are all worth 1, but it does just kind of feel like 2. And I said, I don't know who said that. They're stupid. It feels like 4 because we did have a couple that I felt like we could have gone either way, and the value of 1 possessions. That's what I saw us learn, was that getting the loose balls magnifies, and that's what we got in the third and the fourth quarter there. So I don't know. I mean, some people may argue that, but when you're in the locker room every day with those kids and you're on the plane coming home with them after a close loss, and our kids really want to please so bad. the things they came up with, we all admitted we all have some barriers that we've not gotten through. Some of them's been language barriers, some of them understanding and communication barriers. We took about 45 minutes on Tuesday. Did we get back Tuesday? Monday? On Tuesday, and didn't practice. We just talked. They went to some small groups. We did a big workout, a big group, and talked about some things we could do better. We changed how we do in our scout, how we gave them the information so we could be a little bit more focused on the top of the scout. I think that was good for us as coaches to hear because, sometimes we're used to being able to give teams 2 or 3 pages of stuff. Well, this team may not be a 2 or 3 page team. They may give us the top of the scout. So, again, it is one game in the win column, but it 100% feels bigger than that.
Bob Holt fashion, I'll turn it over to somebody else, but if you'll come back to me, I'll have more.
I love the tribute. Yeah. Just that I could go 6 months, 8 months, or whatever without seeing him, and it was just like you fall right back into it like you saw him at lunch. I think it's really easy to identify people who really love the Razorbacks, and he's been one of those guys ever since I knew him. When I first started, gotten here, worked for Coach Blair. Coach Blair texted me today, and he was one of the first people that introduced me to Bob Holt. Bob rode back with us one time. Did we used to have the luncheons out at the Elks Club? Am I making that up? Is that where it was at? Bob rode back to practice one time, and hearing him and Coach Blair talk was one of the funniest things. I mean, the Elks Club, I don't know if y'all know where it's at, but it's out over there. What is that, probably a 15-minute drive? I bet neither one – they talked the entire time, and I bet they didn't say 30 words, and I just sit there and listen. So I just remember how much he loved the Razorbacks and how, people that didn't understand him sometimes thought he was asking a question that he really wasn't. He just he had a way of making the story the way as Arkansas fans could understand it. So,
going back to the game, just that 14-0 run y'all had, what do you think changed then to lead to that?
We got the loose balls. There were 3 in a row that we got because we were making a miss a little bit, but they would then get the rebound, stick it back in. And, again, my Greenwood math, 1 for 2 is always 50%. And when we started holding them to, one shot or one every other one, I kind of jokingly kidded with Jenna walking out of the tunnel at halftime. I said, right now I have one more. You have one more rebound than I do, so she really got 4 or 5. She tipped 4 or 5 in the second half. So I thought that was the difference. We got complete stops, not just make a miss, but it ended in a stop. We got a couple of runouts as a result of that. And we are very – we're going to be a team for a while. I hope we outgrow it. I don't know that we will, but we're very sensitive to mistakes. Like if we make a mistake on defense, there's a good chance we're going to make one on offense. If we make one on offense, there's a good chance we're going to make one on defense. So when we started stringing together, stacking up good things, I think it kind of got them going. And, everybody kept encouraging each other. We kept encouraging them throughout it. And it took 1 or 2 big plays. Chris's was one of them, going in there right after I subbed. Right after we'd given up that debacle of 6 or 7 shots, she went in that first one. She literally knocked a kid down to get it. And that just got everybody going. So I think that was it. I might have to go back and watch it later. That's the way I remember it. I don't know if I'm misremembering or not, but I remember that being a turning point.
Yeah, there were 10 offensive rebounds for them in the third quarter. I think over half were on that one possession.
That one possession.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like we couldn't get off that end of the floor. So I felt like them made the sub, and from that point on, we still get out-rebounded by 11, but if I go back and look at it, I bet in the last 12 minutes, I bet we out-rebounded them.
Kind of in the flow of the game, I think they were up, maybe it was 49-42, 7 points, and then had back-to-back threes from Jada and Kiki. How big do you think those were to kind of maybe start lending to that comeback?
Immeasurable because, again, we're so sensitive to – mistakes and being behind a little bit. If you don't hit either one of those and they go down and score again, now it's in that range where it's like, man, it's hard to come back from. But Jada, the ball founder over in the corner, she makes that shot all the time in practice to the point that our kids on the bench were yelling before she ever even let it go. And Kiki, when she gets Her ball doesn't spin a lot. I don't know if y'all have noticed it when she shoots it. It's almost a little bit of a knuckleball, but she's got such good touch. But that one, as soon as it came out of her hand, Coach Nick said, "Give me that," and I knew that was he had a good look at it. And it was, but those were massive because you don't make those; they go down and score again. Now you're down 10 or so, and that's a completely different media timeout or next timeout. And I thought we managed the game. We had 12 turnovers against those guys is a very low number because of how they play. So we'll definitely have some recovery tomorrow. We'll be bruised up and sore, but that rugged win, needed to get it not only for ourselves, but hopefully we help the league out again with a win in the win column.
Like right after the game, I saw Izzy flocked over to y'all, had a group of youth players from Rogers that came to support the team, and she was went right to them. Just, you've had a lot of good representatives of your program since you've been here. I mean, like Michaela and Chelsea, and the list goes on. But where do you think Izzy, just as far as like what you want a player to just represent your program as, where does she kind of fit in there since you've been here?
Got a great start. Still got a ways to go. She'll finish, but I have confidence she will. She's in the conversation. I mean, I've got a lot of texts from people that say she's already one of my favorite Razorbacks, so her story is so cool. The way she's gone about doing it should be an inspiration to a lot of people. We get so many negative stories about college athletics now. I hope hers gets celebrated, but she goes out of her way to make those moments for those kids. And it's not just in the gym when y'all see it all the time. It's in restaurants, and it's just around campus. She's been she has said yes to literally anything we've asked out of her. She said she said something to me the other day. She goes, I've only got 1 year to be a Razorback, so I got to make a lot of memories. And that kind of hit me in the heart because maybe I should have had a Razorback before. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have that conversation with myself no matter how long I coach. But it taught me a really valuable lesson about some things, about how people that kind of want to be Razorbacks, so maybe over people that we have to convince to be Razorbacks. It's made me take a long, hard look at kids in state right now that I might not have in the past, because I just look up and I see that every single day, the value of that. She's not going to win I guarantee if they ran line drills against, she'd finish last against in that Boston College deal. But she drew 10 fouls against them. So too early to tell. I'm not going to put any pressure on her, but she's a lot of people's favorites. Sorry, you gave me all these great notes, and I didn't even look at them. Career high in field goals. I knew the 2-0 in SEC Challenge. I knew that one. Thanks for that, but I did know that one. Dungy 41, Izzy career high. I think if she finishes the way she started, she will have left a pretty good legacy in 1 year. It's kind of the new norm, too. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of people with 1 year careers for the rest of the time. Maybe she's the first one to get it started that we kind of compare everybody to, but we'll see. Long way to go, but happy with where she started and proud of her, for her too. Simo, I've watched enough of them. I can talk about them.
Thoughts on them?
Compare them, to maybe our Oral Roberts, UTA, Arkansas State style. They're going to press. They're going to play full court, play a lot of people. We're going to have to really value the ball again. It's good that we've played against them. Their style of play, not them. I got to watch a little. They've been on a lot of SEC streaming late at night, so I've seen them. But they're deep. They play a lot of kids. The scout will be very much personnel and concepts. Good for us because we have a quick turnaround. Izzy's not able to practice the day after a game when she plays 38. And with with Danica and Carly, hopefully be able to return maybe for a little bit of practice tomorrow. That'll give us some valuable minutes to get those kids in. And we've been working Phoenix in to practice a lot because she's about 2 weeks away from coming back and joining us. So we're starting to try to get her as game shape ready as she can. So tomorrow will be a good chance for some of our kids who don't get major minutes to really get some good reps in and work with Phoenix. Correct. Yeah, she'll be, and we've been building toward that, trying to ramp her up and get her. There'll still be a transition because it's just it's different practice to the game the way you feel, But she played a lot of international ball this summer, so I think she'll transition pretty quickly. All right, thank y'all. It's what? Today. But there were some yesterday too, right? I think we were 4-2 going into the day. Is that right? I think it was 4. I thought it was 4-2 yesterday. And then tonight, there's a late game tonight. It's